The former Republican mayoral candidate lost to Eric Adams, the mayor now. Curtis, I was surprised that in New York you can get arrested for defending yourself from a guy who's intent on harming you. Florida, they have a law that allows deadly force if you believe you're threatened with bodily harm. This video clearly shows that threat. So what's the debate?
The debate is about Alvin Bragg. As you've seen, there are DAs across the country who side with the criminals and actually go out of their way to prosecute victims who fight back. So this is the norm. We've seen it in San Francisco. We've seen it in L.A. We've seen it in St. Louis. We've seen it in Chicago. And now we see it in New York City and Manhattan. The most powerful district attorney in the country has said he wants to throw the book at Jose Alba. Started with a second-degree murder charge, $500,000 bail. That's been reduced by the judge, but he won't release him. He won't release him, and he won't capitulate. And our mayor, Eric Adams, won't pick up the phone and tell Alvin Bragg, name him and shame him, you better do the right thing and defend the victims of New York City and stop turning these criminals loose.
All right. He has been critical of the sort of the round robin approach to this, where someone goes through a turnstile, gets processed and let out. But it's up to the governor in this case, since you can't force Bragg out of office. The mayor can't get rid of him, but the governor can. And she is not indicating that's going to happen.
No, crime wave Kathy Hochul will not get rid of Alvin Bragg or any district attorney. She has the power to do that throughout New York State. That's why we've got to coalesce behind Congressman Lee Zeldin, who just won a hard-fought GOP primary, who has said on day one, when he is sworn in, first thing he does is he kicks Alvin Bragg to the curb and replaces him with a district attorney, which the governor in New York State has the power. I only wish we had here in New York what California, New Jersey, and some other states have, recall, because this guy would be putting up a shingle in private defense practice now if we had recall.
You know, this is the #1 issue for New Yorkers. You know, almost anywhere else in the country, you talk about inflation, you talk about, you know, some areas, you know, they worry about losing their job and all. In New York, this is front and center, the big issue. And I would think that on that level alone, politicians respond accordingly.
You would think, but Neil, did you ever in your life think that a drive-by shooting outside of St. Patrick's Cathedral on Rockefeller Center took place at 6 o'clock in the morning along Fifth Avenue, Cartier, Ferragamo, all the Fortune 500 stores, and it didn't even make the lead in the news because there's so much crime. Remember, over the July 4th weekend, we almost surpassed Chicago. We had 54 shot, 9 dead. They had 68 shot, 8 dead. Yeah, we're competing with Chicago. So, Eric Adams, you want to be like Mayor Lightweight, Lightfoot, whatever her name is, who, as your report indicates, wants to go to Paris and London to try to encourage businesses to come to Chicago. Go ahead, knock yourself out, but you're supposed to be the law and order mayor. Do your job and name and shame the governor, who's your friend, and Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan DA, who is Eric Adams' friend.
Wild stuff, and we're not anywhere near done. Curtis, very good seeing you. Just a fun end note on the whole Alba situation. He was being held, so he spent a night in jail on $250,000 bail and ultimately negotiated a reduced amount that allowed him to secure a $5,000 bond. But he still had to pay up, or some of his loved ones did, to get him out, defending himself and his life and his livelihood. We'll have more after this.